In this video, I want to break down how much you should be charging for your memberships at your martial arts school. You see, the thing that I hear a lot is martial arts school owners getting tripped up about how much other people in their cities are charging, and that prevents you from charging as much as you actually could. So today I'm going to break down exactly how I think about pricing and actually how I optimize not only pricing at our own schools, but for every client we work with, so they can charge as much as possible, be as profitable as possible, while having a very high closing rate. So the first thing you want to think about is your starting membership price. I don't look at what other martial arts schools are charging for their membership prices, because if you're just competing against other martial arts schools on price, it's a race to the bottom, right? Let's say a guy's charging 150 in your city and you're like, oh, I gotta be 150 because he's 150. And then the next guy comes and he's 140. And then another guy comes and he's 120. And then another guy comes and he's 100. How are you supposed to compete with that? Are you just gonna gradually lower your prices all the way to bankruptcy? Of course not. That's why you don't want to compete on price. You want to compete on value. When you charge a higher price, you have more profit in order to reinvest back into your school, to pay your staff way better, to have much better staff than the other schools, to have a nicer facility, and obviously just to be more profitable over time as well. So you want to look at what the average household income is in your city. For example, if your average household income is 50K, maybe you start with $150 roughly price point. If it's 75K, maybe you start with $175 per month price point. And if it's 100K average household income, maybe you start around $200 per month. Now, once you've picked your relative starting price point, then the next thing we like to do is break it down into different membership options. Now, the big thing I see a lot of martial arts schools mess up with their pricing and their sales processes is they have a million different options. Oh, the monthly option is this per month, but if you do 3 months, it's this. But if you do 6 months, actually, it's this. But if you do a year, then the price goes to this. But if you have a second sibling, then the prices is this, 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 this. And then if you have a third sibling, it's this, 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 this. But if you pay in full, then it goes, and it's like, what? Like, how is someone supposed to make a decision when there's that many different options? It's crazy. Like I mentioned in our previous videos, if you look at all great companies, they have maybe 2 or 3 different options for each product they have. And that's a sweet point. So what we like to do, we'll have 3 options, but actually one of them we keep in our back pocket. So we have a 3-day-a-week membership, a 2-day-a-week membership, and then a 1-day-a-week membership. But the 1-day-a-week we keep in our back pocket because obviously people don't progress as much on 1 day a week. But if there's specific situations where a family would be a good fit and the other options don't work for them, we'll have that option ready to present them with. The 3-day-a-week option you want to think of as a price anchor. So most people aren't going to choose this option, at least right off the bat, but it makes your 2-day-a-week option look a lot cheaper. So let's say, for example, you're in a city with an average household income of 75K. So your relative starting membership price is 175. What I would do is I'd make my starting membership price for 3 days a week something like a lot higher, like $200 per month or even $225 per month. And when I present the 3-day a week as, I don't know, let's say $225 per month, and then I present the 2-day a week as $175 per month, even though for some people $175 might be a little bit of a higher price, doesn't sound like a lot compared to $225 per month. So you're giving people that reference point right off the bat. They're like, damn, like $225 per month when they first see that. And then they see $175 and they're like, oh, that's actually not that bad. Price anchoring helps a lot in the sales process. And then your 1 day a week that you keep in your back pocket, you want that as close as you can to the 2-day a week price. So I'd probably price the 1 day a week at like, I don't know, $155 per month, for example. Basically, you want to have 3 different options. Now, it's okay to have sibling discounts or to have paid in full discounts, but don't put all of that out there on your membership sheets or present all of that to people up front. If they ask questions about it, cool. But as far as your membership tuition sheet goes, keep it as simple as possible. Again, what we do is just 2 days a week and 3 days a week. The next thing that we implement across everyone for their memberships is we don't actually charge monthly. We charge bi-weekly, or in some cases, we charge weekly. Why do we do that? You actually make more money than charging monthly. So for example, let's say you have a membership that's $200 per month. So obviously $100, if it's bi-weekly, it'd be $100 bi-weekly. So you take $100 bi-weekly times 26 weeks, half the weeks in a year, and then divide it by 12 months. months, you actually make $216 per month versus $200 per month, because there's a few months where you get an extra billing cycle. I think you make about 8% more per year charging this way. So first of all, you make more money for every student who signs up, which I'm sure you guys aren't going to complain about. But the other benefit is it's a lower barrier of entry for someone to get started. For someone to have to pay $200 on the first day versus $100, or even if it's weekly, potentially as low as $50, is a lot easier to say yes to, right? So that's what we find works so great about bi-weekly or weekly pricing, is it just makes it easier for people to get started. Now, in majority of cases, we usually do bi-weekly, but in very low income areas, like I'd say 50K average household income or less, we'll do weekly pricing because we find the closing rates are higher when you use that type of pricing option in those types of areas. Now, the next thing you want to build into your membership pricing is charging an enrollment fee. So we like to charge an enrollment fee anywhere from $100 to $200. The way we use the enrollment fee is as an incentive. If someone signs up on their first day of their trial, basically before they leave, we waive that entire enrollment fee. So it's a price shock, and we talk about this, it's an offer so good, it would be stupid for people to say no. Like, imagine someone sees our membership tuition sheet right at the beginning of the class, and it's like, okay, there's like the $99 bi-weekly, there's $125 bi-weekly, and I have to pay $200 for the enrollment fee to get started. And then you go up to them halfway through the class and you're like, hey, actually, we have a promotion going on. If you sign up today, we actually waive that entire enrollment fee, which includes the martial arts uniforms you see, or the gis you see everyone wearing out there. So you can actually get started for as low as $99. And now it's a huge like price shock factor. It's like, I went from thinking if my kid likes this and I sign them up today, I'd have to pay $300 to now I only have to pay $99. Or if it's weekly, it's like, damn, I'd only have to pay $50 to sign up today. It mitigates a lot of those common objections, like, oh, I need to talk to my wife or husband, or I need to think about it. So we find that works extremely well, and you want to build that into every single one of your membership options. If you haven't done it before and are, a little on the fence, I would probably start with a lower enrollment fee, like $100, and then you can gradually raise it over time to $150, $200. I'm telling you, just this one thing alone, having an enrollment fee significantly increases people's closing rates. I had one client just outside of Baltimore, actually. His closing rate was 30-40% for a couple months. And all we didn't change pricing, we didn't change anything. We just implemented the waived enrollment fee. People signed up on the first day. Closing rates immediately went up to about 71-72%. Even at our own family school, there was a few months last year, I think it was April, May. My parents' closing rate was like 30%. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is annoying me. Like, we're sending so many people through the doors and only 30% are signing up. So the only two things we did was we started offering the bi-weekly pricing option. And again, we implemented the enrollment fee. Closing rates immediately went up to about 72-73%. The last couple months, I think they've been closer to 80-90% with their closing rate. So you do those two things alone, you can charge more and you close a higher percentage. Now, the last big thing to touch on is, okay, let's say you implement all of this today. You simplify your membership options. You offer a bi-weekly or weekly option, implement the enrollment fee to increase your closing rates. And let's say you're currently charging $80 bi-weekly and you're closing 60, 70, 80% of people on the first day onto that membership rate. The next question is, okay, well, when do you raise your membership prices? My rule of thumb is if you're closing at, at least 60 to 70% consistently for a couple months, it means, hey, like, there's not much friction at all with your current offer and you have room to increase your prices. So what I do after a few months is just raise the membership tuition. So let's say, for example, again, you're charging $175 per month, which I don't know what that'd be, bi-weekly, like $85 or whatever. I would raise it from, $85 bi-weekly to $99 bi-weekly. Then obviously raise a 3-day a week. So let's say the 3-day a week was at $225 a month, which would be like around $110 bi-weekly. I'd raise that to like $125 bi-week. And then I wouldn't change anything else. I'd wait, a few months and see if my closing rates change at all. And if your closing rates are relatively the same, or even if they drop by a little bit, if you're making way more money, then who cares? Like, that shows, okay, I can charge these prices in this this market and continue to scale. And then you basically want to continue to repeat that process every couple months until you hit some sort of ceiling, right? So let's say you're able to get your 2-day a week to $250 a month, $125 bi-weekly, for example. And now you're seeing, oh damn, closing rates are getting to like 40, 50%. Well, from there, don't raise your prices any further. Spend some time improving your sales process, improving your brow classes, trying to make the tweaks you need there to get your closing rate back up. And if you find, hey, I just can't get my closing rate higher than 60% at this price range, maybe you just stay there at $250 per month, and that's the ceiling in your city. So that's the way I like to think about pricing memberships. A couple other things to touch on before we wrap up is actual contract length of membership. So this is a question I get too. Hey Adam, do I charge like a yearly contract or 6 months? I usually tell people just do month to month. One belief of a lot of school owners is like, oh, I need to do a contract because they need to be committed to at least 6 months or a year, or people are gonna quit sooner. But it's like, if you believe the only way for people to not quit sooner is having a contract, then you have to point the fingers back at yourself and be like, hey, maybe my program just isn't as good as I need it to be yet. Like maybe I just need to improve my program so I have better retention. Our clients who have the best retention, all of their memberships are month to month. Actually, our client with the best retention, Andrew from All Star Martial Arts, who owns a Newmarket location, the Richmond Hill location, just opened the Leslieville location. His churn rate is 2.7%, which is insane. I won't name any names, but I've had some school owners reach out to us who are big in the industry or whatever. There's this one in Florida who has like 15, 16 locations. I told them Andrew's closing rate was about 2 to 3%. They were like, oh no, are you sure about that? That's impossible. Like our closing rates are like 5, 6%. And I'm like, all right, like gotta like work on improving your program quality then. I don't know what to say to you. You know, they have the 1-year contracts and everything. But the point being is, if you're worried about retention, instead of trapping people in long-term contracts, I even see some people doing like crazy 5-year contracts and stuff like that. Keep it month to month and just focus on having a better program to keep people longer instead of trapping people in these long contracts. Nowadays, with everything going subscription based, like Netflix or YouTube, Spotify, even like if you're going to purchase products on lots of websites, you probably see the Affirm pop up where you can pay a monthly fee for whatever. Like everything is going that way where it's just a monthly fee. People are so used to it. And if you ask people to commit to a long-term contract on the first day of their trial, when you go to enroll them, it adds a lot of friction and you're not going to be able to charge as high of a price. So again, what I'd recommend is keep your membership pricing month to month. So like that's pretty much it for today's video. Again, the main point to get across today is don't get caught up with what other people are charging in your area. To be the best, only focus on competing with yourself and just becoming a better version of yourself every single day. Work on increasing those closing rates, and as those closing rates increase, gradually increase your membership tuition. Don't worry about what anyone else is charging. Just focus on you and you're gonna grow way faster. If you want to potentially learn more about partnering with us, click the link in our description, kincreative.io, and apply to work with us now. Thanks so much for watching the video today. I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.